Amazing to me how they don't get on here very quickly. What was that? Hello, Miss Stevens. How are you? Oh, you're muted. Got to turn your microphone on.
There it is.
There you go.
Is that you, Lyle?
It is me.
Oh, good, good.
How are you?
Well, can you show your picture?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. There you are.
Yeah. How have you been?
Well, I have got 3 compliments for the Belmead City Hall.
Good.
And you're probably the only one that would really be interested in most of it. But first of all, getting rid of that privet hedge in front of Margaret Ann Robinson's lot there.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that just shows you what we can look like if we just get the invasive plants out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, that was number 1. And then number 2 is some way or another, you all have been able to get the garbage people not to beep when they back up. And it is just, it's so pleasant. And then the third thing is a friend of ours was before the, I guess the zoning committee for about 3 months on a desire that he had, and it fell through. And he has been very complimentary of you all, how it was handled.
Good.
And I just think
That commission is really doing a wonderful job. They really are.
I just think that just beside, for him to have worked on that for so long and then have those things to say.
Yeah.
But
Now, Carter, is there a chance you could run me a glass of that wine down here real quick?
Yeah.
I think I'll go
Monday,
get mine.
right?
While I'm waiting on everybody, I'm gonna get mine.
Go
Oh
get
my
yours,
God.
Caroline.
I'm reduced to water.
That's the good thing about having this meeting at home instead of work. You need
Well,
to get home and have it.
If she had to bring that to you, red wine, you would be cold by the time you got it. You don't want cold red wine.
God, it's so cold out there.
It is cold, isn't it? Phew.
It's brutal to this
We've
afternoon.
had
Yeah,
such wonderful December weather. We're not used to this.
I know. Well, I'll say I'm sitting here. I've got my fire going. Like I'm
Nice.
all ready.
Why
Yeah,
don't we just have this at your house? We'll just wear a mask.
exactly. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Doing well. Thanks.
If I'd have thought ahead, I would have gone home and done this on my laptop. I'd already be into the scotch right now.
Oh,
A lot more creative thinking.
Yeah.
Doug and Trisha McDowell gave me some maple syrup that's spiced with bourbon.
What?
Ooh, I bet that's delicious.
It really is good. Yeah.
Are you gonna share?
Well, you got to have a waffle with me. That doesn't sound right, does it?
And some good bacon.
Yeah.
I like your tree there, Laura Catherine.
You. How's everybody?
Good.
Good.
Well,
Let's see if I can choose a virtual background that I
Jim,
like.
you don't need a virtual background.
There it is.
We don't see you.
Wait a minute. I think I might do another one. Let's see if we do that one. Oh, that's just a Belmead plantation.
Oh, that's nice.
oh, good. Hi, Carolyn.
Jim, give us a Christmas one.
Do you have one? Oh, look at that tree behind you.
That's
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
my tree. I love Christmas. Y'all ought to know that about me. I love it.
Now, Jim's not outside, is he?
Oh, hell no. Didn't you see just I moved my green screen? No, if it is, I got it recorded 2 days ago when the sun was out.
Jim, I think we want some Christmas.
Well, let me see. I mean, I may be able to find something.
I bet you can. While you're doing that, I'm just pulling up some of the info for the meeting.
How about something from Hanukkah?
That works.
Okay, because I lit the menorah on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find that. I'll sing for you.
Do it.
I don't think anybody wanted that.
Yeah, I want you to sing. I have this recorded. This will be great.
Yeah, that's what I won't do it.
Wow, you shouldn't have spoiled the secret.
Oh, I know he does that. Let's see.
I know you know. I was hoping you'd forget. And we get
Now there's the menorah behind me right here. But
There you go.
you can't see the light on it. I got to edit it and bring it. Let me see if I got a better one of that.
It's two of you.
Yeah, there's two of them. I was told on a Zoom call today that I look like Joe Biden, and I said, "Oh no."
Oh, no, you don't look like Biden.
Well, I think it was the position I was sitting in that they said that about me.
Wait, Joe Biden is so handsome. That's a compliment.
Joe, did you say Joe is or I am?
Both of you.
Both of you.
I'll tell you what, Joe Biden is younger than me, but looks a lot older than me, I think.
Well, Jack, I was once told that I looked like Geraldine Ferraro, so I think you're way ahead of me.
All right, we're gonna have a.
And I was much younger at the time, so I was really insulted.
Oh.
Imagine.
Oh, look, marvelous, marvelous.
There's Haley Dale.
Yeah.
Hey, Haley.
Hey.
So we start off
Hi.
really casual around here. We're still waiting for everybody to join. But while we do, let's welcome Haley, y'all. Haley is our newest commissioner. And Haley, we normally have our commissioners join us at our meetings in person because we're a whole lot of fun. But we're glad to have you virtually.
Thank you. I will let you all know that I was once told I looked like Monica Lewinsky. So
Oh!
that was not fun. I think
You
Joe
get the
Biden
prize.
said
You definitely get the prize.
it. Thank you. Thank you.
Sandra Bullock.
Got rid of that blue dress, right?
It'll be a lot.
Oh.
Well, I think you and I better stay out of this one.
Mhm.
Here,
Oh, gosh. And you're also sitting at your desk. That's another thing. Oh,
Okay, on that note, let's get
bad
started.
group. This is a bad group.
This is a great group. Okay, so it's 5:35. Let's get started. Let me know if I'm missing anybody. I have Caroline, Carolyn, Carter, Jill, Lisa, Jim, Lyle, Haley, and Lee.
Caroline. Did you get Caroline?
I did get Caroline.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else here?
Beth.
Lee
Martha,
Lee
yes.
Mills is here.
Beth and Martha are here?
That's Beth.
There's Beth. Hi, Beth. And yeah, for some reason, I don't have to share my screen. There it is. Share my screen.
All right. Beth's on the call, so we better clean up our act, people. Let's be nice.
Beth, we're talking about political figures that we've been
Yeah.
told we look like.
Uh-oh.
Do you have anything to contribute?
I don't think so. Not yet anyway.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right, Lyle, did you say Martha was on?
No, I was asking if she were coming.
Oh, I have not received any declines for the meeting. So all right, well, we'll go on and get started. Okay. So our action items from the previous meeting, the first one was the remaining committee members to donate. We had a few more trickle in, so really, really appreciate that. Number two was ask Lee for the current statement, and Lee is here. Y'all, if you have not met Lee, what's your official title?
I am the HR and Finance Director.
Got it. HR and finance. She's the money woman. And so we're so glad you're here. And she has all of the info to answer all of the questions. And then I had asked everybody to go ahead and mark your areas of concern on the Kimley Horn Bell Mead Together map. And I don't know if y'all saw, but we had amazing response. We had over 3,000 hits to the Bell Mead Together website. And Jim, I don't remember the exact amount of comments, but it was maybe 1,800. Is that right?
Beth, it wasn't that many. I believe we had the 3 boards up at the plantation. I saw those, and they're probably
I can tell you.
probably 150 comments on that one. But now we're talking, these are
really?
actually
Oh, good.
special comments. So not these weren't just these weren't made in specific locations. They were just excuse me.
All right, Beth, what's our number?
I think it's about 600 comments on the map.
Okay.
And then there were several thousand visits to the website.
Yeah, I saw the
Very good.
newsletter update, I think was 3,000. I think that's awesome. So
Yes,
good
it is.
job. I thank y'all so much. The steering committee we'll talk about this a little more. But the steering committee is going to go through each one of those comments individually and discuss them. So we're really excited about that. Then we had, Beth, have you had a chance to reach out to NES for updates on the new lights on the boulevard?
I reached out to them about a month ago, and they've placed the order for our fixtures, and they're hoping that they will arrive in January. And at that point, they'll schedule their crews to install, just depending on what else they've got ahead of that. But they say once the crews get out here, they should have everything installed within two 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thanks. Okay. And then the last thing was Bellmead Living. We're still trying to get a sponsor. So, and we talked about this. It's not our responsibility to do fundraising for Bellmead Living, but it would be nice if anybody had a sponsor or an idea of someone who might be interested in giving that, giving a suggestion to Tara Biller. She'll follow up, she'll do the sales work, but just to say, hey, here's somebody who might be interested in doing an article. So, okay, so those are our action items. Let's jump right in. First thing on the agenda is fundraising. So Lee, would you, and I have this current balance from the email that you sent me. So would you give us the most recent, and I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'd love, could you share your screen? Do you have that, or do you want me to pull it up?
I don't know how to share my screen. Honestly, I'm working.
I'll show you.
Sorry.
no,
I
no.
did send you what I'm looking at now. I sent that to you on Friday. I don't know.
Okay, that's the one. Then I'll pull it up really quickly.
Okay.
1 second. All right, so this is the statement for October. Let's see, give me 1 second. And you know, my computer's only slow when I have people watching me. Let's see. And now I'm going to. Okay. Let me hide that. Okay. All right. So Lee, I'm going to let you walk us through this.
Okay, perfect. Just to start off with just the basics, you all, I'm not sure if you know, but we are on a fiscal year of June 30. So we start, this statement is from July to October. So that third column there is where we're at as of the end of October. So we've earned $131 in interest and so on down through there. So year to date, we've got $3,681 in income. And then if you look to the far left, that's where we budgeted, which of course is based on the most recent 3 years. We took an average. So that's where our income is at this point. And under expenses, we've got $3,800 for, that's basically the watering truck for 4 months. Half of the watering. And then the 14,803.
I think
Pardon?
someone
I'm
needs to, no, someone needs to mute because there's a ton of background noise. It's hard to hear. Anyone having that problem? Thanks, Laura Catherine. Or someone.
It might be me. I tend to have background noise. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Can you,
fine.
Laura Catherine, can you give us the full sheet? I'm only able to see up to assets. Okay, thank you. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and then that 14,000, that's primarily the flowers that we had planted during the fall planting. And any you know, repairs to the turf and the backflow preventers, pulling those up. So as of October 31st, we have a net loss of $14,922. And really our only asset is our checking account. And as of the end of October, we had $140,883. And that's really our financial statement for the beautification fund.
Anybody have any questions?
So yeah, I do. So the $14,000, that was for fall plantings?
Yes, and you know, any miscellaneous in that category is also yeah, the bedding plants, replacement trees. That's the only things that go in that account.
And that's for all the different pocket areas or, okay. And then the 3,800 is for irrigation, did you say?
That's 1/2 of the watering truck for those 4 months.
Lee, does the city pay for the other half?
Yes.
So I have a question on the fiscal 2020 budget. The first column, it says contribution dues 57,000. Was that a fundraising goal or?
I'm sorry, what that was the way we prepare our budget. We look at the previous 3 years and take an average of those years. And then also I look at where were we in reality for last year, so that, if we had a really big item 2 years ago, it doesn't skew our budget for this year.
I think in the future that the committee could go ahead and at least suggest what the contribution amount should be.
So I have some concerns. I don't know if this is the right time to bring these up. First of all, I don't think maybe it's in the fundraising piece that I was not involved with last year. I'm not sure, but I'm very unaware of how much it takes to run the committee and the outreach for the plantings and the maintenance. And I was very unaware of how much that takes. I think probably before it was due to the generosity of everyone. So now we're in a little bit of a bind, I think. $14,000, we have money in the bank, but I'm all about being very transparent about here's what it costs, here's where your donation goes, here's how much we need. Like, you live in a beautiful city, and yes, your tax dollars pay for these services, but the icing on the cake comes from you. If you would like for your city to look as beautiful. Anyway, so I may have missed that, and I'm one of the board members who's yet to contribute, and I had a really super hard time digging through the website to find a donation button for Ceres and donation levels and what those levels cover, and sort of some information about here's what it takes to run Ceres Society, the beautification of Belmead, and here's where your contributions are going to be. Tell a little bit more of a story about why your donation is so important. Maybe I've just not hit the right buttons, but it was very difficult. So I was like, well, I want to know what the giving levels are, because it was suggested that the board members give a certain amount, which is fine, but it just caused me to dig a little bit deeper. So those are some of my concerns. One is, wow, we've got a lot of catching up to do, and how we're going to do that. And two is how can this story be told with a positive, outlook, like, hey, we're going to keep going, COVID or no COVID, for your benefit. So,
Beth, let me ask this: when is has the normal letter gone out from in the past? When has it gone out for fundraising?
Early in the spring, usually I think around February or March.
Okay, and that money is raised for the current fiscal year. So, but some of that would, because it's that late, some of it will spill over probably to collections. Could spill over into the next fiscal year, right? Okay.
Yes.
Carolyn, I don't know if that makes you feel better that we haven't done that.
Yes.
So
yes.
One thing that I would suggest, and I know that whenever we get to look at the financial statements, Lee, we always come up with suggestions. And my suggestion may be, and I'm not sure how to do this, but when you look at the expenditures, you might like to see that the repair and maintenance services, 11,477, we might have another column that would say out of whatever the total that that the city may be paying, so you can see that the city has a $40,000 expense there, of which Ceres is paying 11,000, whatever. Would that be too hard to do, Lee and Beth? Would that be too hard to create that?
No, I think we could.
I mean, you could just put a
No
column
matter-
in there that says, I don't exactly know how to do it, but Laura, Catherine, what do you think? Would that be something where the Ceres people could see what percentage of the total expense they were paying? Would that
I
be
think that's
helpful?
a good something to see. Are you talking about putting that on the website, or are you talking
No,
about
I'm talking about on the
of a
financial,
serious consumption?
right
Yes,
here on this
serious
financial
consumption.
statement, on this financial statement. So the members of the beautification committee would be able to see that. I'm not sure what you want to communicate and be transparent with them to the public, but you all can decide on that. But I mean, just so that you have a better idea of how much we're paying for. I know we've talked about this, but how much Ceres is paying for this, as a percentage of overall expenses.
I don't know if we could add another column, but we can certainly put a note on the statement
Okay, that's fine.
saying, of the 11,477 is X percentage of the total maintenance costs or something like that.
I think that's something that Lee, you and I can sort of get together and talk about that. What I'd like to do, since we are now starting in January, actually, I guess, I don't remember, was December or January our first meeting 2 years ago, Jim? Do you remember?
When was what? I'm
Our
sorry.
first meeting, did we start January or December?
Gosh, time flies. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I think-
either this month or in, 20 days,
Yeah.
we will be starting our third year. And so we had talked about, Jim and I, when we sat down and talked about creating this committee and starting this back up, that the first couple of years, we would just get ourselves started. And then around year 3, we would start looking at the financials. And year 4, we would possibly be at the point to start making recommendations.
Yeah,
Right now we're ad hoc, so the commissioners approve all of our expenditures. But that's definitely something. So with that said, Lee, I'd love to see if we can get you as part of our meetings every month and talk about where we are and what our financials are. And we will sit down and see if we can figure out a way to communicate, the breakdown, what the city pays versus what Ceres pays, and get those numbers to the committee. Because I think that is important to distinguish what we're paying in whole and what we're paying in part.
I have a quick question, though. I think that even separate from that, just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, that horticulture and repair are about 44,000, and what we've raised is 57,000. Is that accurate?
No,
That's what we're supposed
number.
to.
We haven't raised that yet.
So that's what you're anticipating will be raised based on
Right.
past.
Based on the past 3 years average. That's what we
So,
budgeted.
I share Carolyn's concerns here because it's not sustainable, right? Is there any way to break down? Can we find out, like, the horticulture and the repair and maintenance? Can you break that down so that we can see where the money is? Because maybe as a group we can get, as part of our Bell Meet together, is getting groups to come and plant, and like there may be ways for us to decrease some of these expenses.
Jill, let me make sure you understand that we're budgeting a $12,000. I can't say profit, but positive cash flow. So you'd have 12,000 theoretically.
Not that much.
For the next, I think that's why you all need, looking at historically, what the contribution amount should be and take ownership of that. So if we're going to raise 57, then you need to raise 57. If it's going to need to be 75, we can do that too.
That's something, but I think that if I'm donating, I want to know why that horticulture.
Okay, you still got that feedback.
Sorry.
It's a buzz. It's a
I want to
buzz.
know what I'm spending my donation on, because I mean, that seems really high for what, is it not? Beth, educate me.
Based on, no, what the city pays, I mean, the city has taken back a lot of your expenses this year, and the landscape maintenance for the city is not, it's a high dollar amount.
Yeah.
For the turf maintenance, for the lawn mowing, for the planting and fertilizing of all the pocket parks,
It's a big expense. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, this, I mean, the amount that Ceres, the beautification fund is funding is still a relatively small amount of the total.
So you're
Yes.
paying a lot, in other
That's
words.
why I'm saying it'd be good for you to know, and for everybody to know what the total amount the city is spending, and so that would maybe give them encouragement to fund even more, because
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Carolyn, do you have any more questions on the financials?
No, I think between our conversations helped a lot. But I do think long range, more sustainable plantings that won't require, a lot of upkeep. But it is pretty. I mean, I have to admit.
I think that's what the commissioners are counting on, is for this committee to do things that would in the long run could save, not save the city money because beautification is paying for it, but because it's sustainable. So
Yeah, exactly. That sounds good.
Okay, let's move on. Excuse me. So this actually brings up the next point that we were going to talk about, which is perhaps a Ceres website to launch off of the Belmead City website. One of the commissioners had brought this up, or excuse me, one of our committee members had brought it up, and several people had mentioned it in the past. Carolyn, basically it stems from the difficulty people have in trying to figure out how to give online. We went through a lot last year to set up the online giving. That was a lot of hoops to jump through. And now that we have it, we are kind of tucked away under the boards and committee. And we're also the only committee that takes donations on that page. So you wouldn't really be expecting to do that or to do that there. So we had talked about doing just a logo, sort of like the way when you hit the Belmead Together logo, it redirects you to the Belmead Together page. It would, what you would do is go to the boards and committee and you would click Ceres, and there'd be a link to a website that we would need to design, or I'm sure the city has some people that can help, but it could have sort of our pitch. It could have who the committee members are, what your expenses or what your donations pay for, some gorgeous photographs of some of our past plantings and things. So I'd like to know what y'all think about that. I'm gonna go on mute because of the feedback.
I personally think it would be very helpful, and especially with this new plan coming up, I think it would be a great visual. There may be people in Belmead who are homebound who can enjoy the photographs of yards and keep up with what's going on from the comfort of their home. So it's all accessible. I do know that it does not cost a lot of money, and there are some platforms that are really good. You can do your own if you have some good photography. There are templates out there. I've actually had to work through some websites. I'm not a designer, but I think it'd be helpful.
I love it. I absolutely love it, because I think that could tie into what we wanted to do to put different yards up, like yard of the month, or even just beautiful yards in Belmead, and could be a forum to have our educational column. I think it's a great idea, and have fundraising ideas, fundraising through there, right? Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I would just say that if you're wanting to save money, I don't think you want to develop your own website. I think you should work through the city's existing website and have a link to your own page or pages.
Yeah.
Not start your own website and then have the city have to or you have to pay for that. I don't think you want to go down that road.
Thank you, Beth. That was me. I misspoke.
Okay.
Yes, no, it would be on the city's website.
Right.
Great.
Michael, I think you are on mute. Do you want to say something?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm just getting set up. I was on the mobile and I've just moved to my office.
gotcha. I just want to make sure you can talk when you want to talk.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, well, committee, let's take a vote. All those in favor of creating our own page within the city's website? Aye.
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 All righty. Nay? All right. Yay. Okay, so let's move on. I was hoping that Alicia could join us. I'll work on, I think I need a little communication with her that we sort of expect her to join all the calls. But we actually had a great email from Lisa Ellis this week, not this week, this month, regarding the Jackson Boulevard Bridge. Lisa, would you like to give the committee members just a little bit of background on this? And I'm gonna again go on mute just for the background noise.
Sure. I think everyone on the committee did receive Junius's idea. I can take no credit for it. Junius is the idea man in the family. He just thought it would serve two purposes. It would keep enormous trucks off of this stretch of Jackson Boulevard, off of that bridge when they are breaking the law already, and should not be on that bridge. And a way to keep them off might be a height limited arch. And then it would also serve to help with our branding. You know, welcome to Belmead through this on this gorgeous historic 100-year-old bridge. You know, and that could be a PR opportunity for the city. But let me just kind of dive in and say, when I was at Monroe Harding and the land was going to be developed, and the neighborhood, the existing neighborhood surrounding the campus was very concerned about additional traffic from 100 new homes. And the proposition came up of a crash gate, and I had never heard that term. And it's kind of useful. It just means that ambulances and fire trucks know that this barrier at the end of the street can be easily gone through in an emergency, whereas a car would not ever do that. So I'm thinking this arch could be made out of styrofoam, and you know the fire department would know that it's crashable, but the truck drivers would not. And that's my only, that's as far as my creativity goes. But I think it's a great idea for a lot of reasons.
I'll say that there are, we spend a lot of time in New Orleans, and there are a fair amount of streets down there that do it. Okay. And it looks really nice. You know, they tend to do theirs in metal, you know, that have kind of this arch over the street with like stone columns on both sides with like a metal thing over it. But, you know, we're going to be going down after Christmas, and I can get some photographs just of some examples that we can look at. But it's, you know, it's not a breakable situation, but, you know, it could be something where it's, you know, if it's on instead of styrofoam or whatever, but that it's something that's on a hinge that meets in the middle, and when pressure, sorry, when pressure is applied, it could break open. That, so, you know, that a fire truck could go through it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I can look at some examples just from down there and bring it back.
I think Kenley Horn would also be able to help with that. One of their team members that's specifically working with us is a traffic engineer. And so I'm certain that they have seen requests like this too. So that would be something to bring up with them.
Lisa, do you know if Junius or you submitted that to the website for Belmead Together?
Yes, they did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yes.
It was
Great.
kind of clunky to get it. It was lengthy. So it's there. Yeah.
As long as it's there, that'll clue everybody that it should take a good look at that.
Thank you.
And,
Where-
and
Oh,
I think
sorry.
I think it's great to have the input about what Carter's talking about, going to look at the design of these. I mean, the idea is great, but the design is going to be equally important.
Where exactly would the bridge, where would it be? Where would where would it be? On Jackson Boulevard?
The entrance to Jackson Boulevard from Harding Road.
Okay.
I would say it needs to be pretty close to Harding Road, because a truck turns off and gets in there, he can't get out unless he knocks it down. So you have to keep him away from that. So.
Well,
Or
and
either
that's
have
also an area that was identified by the Bell Meet Together group as an area of interest because it is an entrance into the city, and so it's also been an area of concern regarding the left turn onto Harding Road and the safety of that. So that intersection is going to get a lot of attention from Bell Meet Together, which is great. I like the idea of Ceres coming together to work with Bell Meet Together on something like this, to make it an entrance, but also to really say it's a great focal point for both Ceres and the city, in regards to branding, in regards to what we do, in regards to knowing you are entering Bell Meet. So, okay, Lisa, thank you so much. Let me think. I don't know the date of the next Bell Meet Together, but I know it's in January. I'm not sure if it's before or after our Ceres meeting. One second. Oh, it's before. It's the week before our Ceres meeting in January. So I'll talk to the steering committee about them and we'll give you some updates. Does that sound great? Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Hey, Catherine, this is Haley. Can I really quick?
Yeah.
Does it may be something Lyle knows, but the street next to whatever street, I just call it the drive through the creek street. What is whichever street that is? That has
Clarendon,
the gate,
and then there's Evelyn.
And
Those are the
Evelyn,
two.
well, the one that has the gate that I mean, I've literally lived here since I was 5, and I can't tell you what it is, but the one that has the gate that closes based on the water level.
Oh, both have
they
that.
both do.
Both do.
Okay, what is triggering the gate to close? Is it the water level, or are we doing it?
No, the police
We are.
manually close it when the flood level gets too high.
Okay. I just wonder if a similar concept could work with the Jackson Bridge, unless the residents are wanting to go over it regularly. If it were closed and only opened in the case of an emergency, I mean, that would certainly.
I don't think we can make that a no,
No.
Haley.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Just,
Yeah, that would have to go to the Jackson residents. And also it comes directly off of a state highway. So we might have to involve TDOT.
yeah, I was just more curious about sort of conditional drive-throughs based on maybe weight or condition or something. I didn't know we manually closed it. In my mind, it was like triggered by something, and I wondered if a weight would close something, but obviously that is too advanced. Just a thought.
I'm sure something like that exists.
Yeah.
And we can, I think Kimley Horn would be the one to be familiar with that, with their traffic engineers. We can certainly ask them. Right now, we're limited by our, experience and knowledge, but they are the SMEs on that. So I would, I'll default to them.
I think we had
That's a good
hoped that
idea.
by putting the signs up that we would have really limited the trucks coming through, but it seems like that they have developed a habit of that, and so they're not wanting to break their habit. So we've got to do things that help break the habit. We just can't put signs up and expect them to read them. So that's what's. It's very disappointing that they have not adhered to what we have suggested, but.
Well, and also I think we need to note that there have been some very targeted campaigns to limit trucks that were while the bridge at Post Road was closed. We had some targeted campaigns with the police that if a truck was over too many axles or too much weight, they actually pulled trucks over, made them turn around and leave Belmead and come in through the boulevard. One place they made the guy, what they did, Jim,
that was TDOT doing their stopping of trucks, but we can get them back out to do that. But that was just and they did it on the Harding Place also.
Oh, I didn't know they did it on Harding Place also. Okay, I just remember Jackson, but it made a little bit of a ripple. Certainly, there was one day where they forced some guy. Do you remember this, Jim? He had to have his truck towed away or something. They would not let him finish driving it on Jackson.
Yeah, I was on Harding Place, I think. Wasn't it, Beth? You remember that there was because he couldn't back up. He couldn't do anything. He was kind of stuck there. But I can't remember what was the outcome. It was.
I can't remember either. I remember it happening, and I do think they did stop somebody that was on Jackson who was over the weight limit, and they didn't have the correct permits for their truck, so they kind of got caught.
Right, didn't have the right permit.
That's the one I'm thinking of, and they made him pull over, and they had to bring another driver.
Yes,
that was what that was. Yeah. So, and it made an effect for about a week. I mean, word kind of got around, but it wasn't long lasting. So,
Is there a fine involved?
There was, yes.
Maybe that's
not from the city though. This was through the Tennessee Highway Department of Safety.
Maybe Ceres can raise $54,000 by patrolling that.
I'm with you on that. That's the best way to fix that.
That's true. Word will get out. Okay. All right. Let's move on. We're already at 10 after 6. So let's move on. Whoops. Excuse me. We don't have nearly as much to talk about as last time. Do we have any update? Martha is not on, and she's head of our planting committee. So Beth, could you tell us a little bit about the fall plantings? They're all in, I assume.
Yes, everything was planted. I believe it was in November before Thanksgiving. So I'm sure everyone has, as they've driven around the city, has seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks beautiful, Beth. It looks really pretty.
And have the planters arrived for the City Hall?
No, we have not seen them yet.
Okay.
I'll make a note to have Lee check with the vendor. I think she had checked last month, and they were supposed to ship in December. So,
oh, okay. I was thinking it was November. Okay. Okay. How about our education committee? Jill, would you like to give us an update?
Sure. So I'm going to jump to another committee really quick. Can I just talk about my fundraising idea for Ceres?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So if you go, as you know, if you go down Linwood, we see all those lighted balls, and they're charging $500, I think, for 5. And I talked to some people who are making them, and they'd be willing to give for next year, or even now, be willing to give Ceres $50 or $75 for that. So I want to talk to you guys and see what you think about that.
Jill, did you talk to Benjamin or the other one?
No, I'm talking to someone else.
Okay, so Benjamin is the one that's doing the Harding ones, and I talked to him about those. We had actually brought it up last January. I received several emails from committee members saying that they really liked that concept, and maybe that was something that we could do. And it sort of fell in line about the time we were talking about doing lights on the boulevard. Do you remember these conversations from last Christmas?
Yeah.
And so the lights would be a great idea. At the moment, it is, so there's a he's not a kid, there's a college age student.
Sims Lance is doing them. And he's giving.
Well, yes, it's Sims. And then Benjamin is his cousin. And Benjamin, and I can't remember Benjamin's little friend's name, but they're MBA graduates, and this is their thing. And so that is an idea that I think would be uniquely, or it's uniquely Belmead. It's kind of taken off right now to do them down the boulevard. Jill,
I'm not talking down the boulevard, because we'd have to have places to plug them in. I'm talking about individuals throughout Belmead, because a lot of people are ordering them. And if we did it through Ceres, that this
Oh.
this couple I'm talking about who are making them, they'd be willing to donate $50 or $75 per order to Ceres. Sims is donating them to another charity, $50.
Mhm.
And so that's something I wanted to bring up, because that might be, if we advertise that through our Ceres page, that might be a really lucrative fundraiser for Ceres.
I think that's a great
Per
idea.
order, then that might, $50 or $75 goes to Ceres.
What do y'all think, committee?
How are these powered?
So you have to have it like an electrical plug. They're plugged in.
Okay.
So it'd be like individual houses. Like I just ordered a bunch of them. So it would be individual people in Belmead who see them and say like, I really want these. And then we would do it through Ceres. We may get, 50 orders, and that would be a fair amount of money.
Well, what do you get? What do you get for the $500?
Okay, well, or if this person would charge $375, they said, or $400, so it'd be a little less. But you'd get the 5 big lights,
Mhm.
the extension cords, a timer, and they would install them.
Who owns them?
The
Yeah.
person does. The person
Yeah,
who
when you buy
purchases
them,
it.
you own them.
So the next year, what do you have to pay for it?
Nothing.
Just $50 for installation if you want them to
Installation,
come
that'd
back
be
and
installation.
install.
Okay, so you're buying the equipment, and the only thing you need to do is bring them in every year to do an installation. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I think it's low hanging fruit, and you can only do it for a few years until everybody has it.
Yeah.
But I think it's just such low hanging fruit where we don't have to get on a ladder. We don't have to make anything. We don't have to dig.
And we get money.
I like
During the
Get there
winter.
and get money.
During the winter, even better.
Something that's going on at the same time. You all probably know this, but there's going to, because we send it out through Neighborhood Watch. Santa Claus is coming to Palmer Park on a particular day. But part of that is also this Lights for Hope, I think it's called, that the same organization, which really is our councilman for this area, is really pushing this, but it's going to be for the entire councilmatic district to decorate their homes, have a lot of lights throughout this, and then we'll have tours and whatever. And I just want to, Belmead has always been good about it, but we never really had any campaign for people to put up their lights. So I think this might be an excuse for that too. So I would like to see, I look across the street from my house and I'm living right across from, where do I live right across the street from, Beth? I have to ask something. But she does. She's you're
Westover.
I thank you. I knew where I live. Westover. But Westover does a great job with their houses over there. They're not in Belmead, but I get to look at them all day. They're beautiful lights.
So Jim, tell us a little bit about what Lights for Hope is. I've seen the sign, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
Honestly, I haven't read all the details about it. Beth, do you know? I don't have it in front of me, but if there's, I think they want you to donate. But I don't know where that comes from.
Well, they're not raising money for any specific charity this year. They're mainly doing it just because of COVID and a lot of people can't go places and do things. So they're having a contest where you can submit pictures of your lighted yard. And I think they'll vote on, some of the winners of different categories. They suggest that you donate to a charity like the Nashville, the homeless shelter, or things like that, but they're not naming any specific charity this year. I think they're just trying to spark some neighborly fun with this COVID.
Okay,
situation.
I'll send out what they've published, and so everybody will know. I'll put that on Neighborhood Watch, so everybody will.
It's in the newsletter. There's a link in the newsletter that just came out, so you can look at it in there. It's on the website.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, let's sort of circle back and get back to the lights for the fundraiser. I think it's a great idea. If Sims is willing to do that, to donate to us.
It's not Sims. It's another person that I hired to do mine. I talked to them about it.
Oh, so okay, gotcha.
It's another group, and I could even negotiate with them and talk to them about even we get a percentage of reinstallations in future years. Like maybe they give 20% to Ceres, and anything, we could even say anything in Belmead that they do, even if it doesn't come through the Ceres website, that $50 or 75, whatever, it goes to Ceres.
So for this year, practically speaking, we need to get something up on the website to donate, or an email or something, so that we can track how many orders come in and where they come in and that kind of thing.
Is it not too late for this year?
It
Are we
might-
okay?
What do you
pretty
think?
close. You need to get it immediately if you're going to do it this year.
I think we need to talk to him and see if he can stand something up immediately. I have a feeling it's going to be, we'll have plenty of time to set it up for next year. I think it'll be cutting it close this year, but I don't think it's anything to stub our noses at. If he's willing to do it for this year, then let's do it.
Casey and Andrea. It's Casey and Andrea Durham. Yeah.
Casey, all right.
I can get you that information later. I can get you the information later.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. If you'll send their info to me, and I'll reach out to them and see if we can get something set up, great. If not, we'll put our eyes on next year.
Okay.
So that's one aspect that we've talked about. The second one is, last year our committee was pretty gung-ho about wanting to do something down the boulevard to really make it a focal point. It was pre-Belmead together, but really sort of say, kind of like Lisa had compared it to Paris, the way that they do their lights, and they're known for their lights. And somebody else had compared it to another town, but that people would know you can go to Belmead and drive down the boulevard and see these beautiful lights. We just, with the Belmead Together plan, just sort of let that fall by the wayside this year. Is it something we want to consider for next year? Especially in light of the fact that they're, balls and things. Is it something we want to, I just want to know, what do y'all feel about this? Last year was pretty hot topic.
I would like to get the new lights up before we do too much on the boulevard, because those are going to add a lot of beauty, and we can enhance that with something. I'd rather wait till next year, but that's just my thought right now.
Mm-hmm. Jim, will the new lights have any sort of electrical access that we could plug into?
Oh, they weren't designed for that. I mean, they weren't designed with that. I don't know that they're.
These are just mast arms and light fixtures. They're not new poles. So there's nothing different other than the arm and the fixture that hangs off the end of the arm.
And if we started to tap into it, we're going to get NES involved, and we really don't want to do that.
It's expensive.
It would be expensive, but also would take 2 years to get it done. So
that's very true.
I'll say this. This is something I'm going to talk about at the commissioner meeting on Wednesday. But I talked to DaCosta Jenkins. He's the president of NES, and told him that we are interested in pursuing the burying of the lights, the electrical power lines on Belmead Boulevard. We realized that it would be
hallelujah.
Well, now wait a minute. Don't say hallelujah, because this would be a very long project, because it would be extremely expensive. Plus, it would be very disruptive. So, but it's something that we're going to be meeting with Don Hill, who is their coordinator for all this, and he's going to come out to the city hall, and he's going to tell us all about what's involved. We can ask questions, but it would be something that Belmead Together would probably be taking the lead on and maintaining, because it's probably a 20-year project to get all the lines buried. The question I would have is, can they really do it in sections? I don't know whether they can or not. So, but anyway, it's going to be a great discusand, and if it's done, and then all we're going to have left would be the power lines that actually hold the lights we're putting up. So, interesting.
Hey, Jim, I'd love to be on that meeting if I could.
I don't know. You talk as much as I do. I don't know.
I promise to be quiet and just take notes.
Yeah, right.
Listen, I've been talking to you about this since before I was head of Ceres. This is what I want to make Ceres. I would love for this to be our our
Let me talk to the
flagship
commissioner.
campaign.
Let me announce this to the commissioners on Wednesday and
Okay.
see where we go from that. I certainly don't, I just don't know how big a meeting with NES do you want to have at the introductory meeting.
Well, we had one, Louise had organized one before and they ended up, something happened. Somebody got sick, they canceled, whatever, and that was a year and a half ago. So anyway, all right, thank you. Keep us updated on that. We have 6 minutes left. So Jill, would you give us some education updates, please?
Right now, Carolyn, do you have anything? Probably just the dates of articles. Thanks for writing, Laura Catherine, in the last one.
Now, Caroline has written a wonderful article on pollinator gardens that's going in. Caroline is going in January's, correct? January's newsletter?
Well, that was where I signed up, but it may go in whenever.
No, I think I'm in for January for spring, for bulbs for fall beauty. I think that's got to be January.
For
Okay.
fall beauty?
On this chart, it's April. I just wrote it early because I'm just interested in it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Carolyn has the list.
Okay.
The calendar.
Carolyn, I still don't see that list on the Google Drive. Would you just email it to me and I'll make sure that it gets uploaded?
Yes, I'd be delighted.
Oh, no, it's Carolyn Sorensen.
Yeah, sorry, Carolyn.
I'm
Caroline, if
I'm
you would send your article and Carolyn.
Yeah, I'll try to upload it onto the Ceres Google folder, but
and then make sure
at
you
any
allow
rate,
access.
I'll send that out.
Yeah, if you once you upload it, you need to right click and allow access to everyone on the committee.
Okay, and I'm trying to, my computer is filled with the shared screen, or I would
No worries.
I sharing myself.
What are
All right.
our gaps? Carolyn, what are our gaps in terms, when do we need people to write?
Let's
What
see if
time?
I can do this.
Okay.
Let's see. It will stop lyric. It will stop yours. Okay, continue. Share. Just bear with me as you go through all my crazy. Here we go. Can you all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So January is order seeds and dahlia bulbs, Lisa, and we have pen names now on the side in case you needed to know. Caroline, you need a pen name, don't you?
Stewardio. That was before I knew about you being part of it. Anyway, Stewardio is mine.
Yeah, Caroline is Stewardia.
Can you tell me how to spell that?
You're not asking the right person.
Stewartia, I believe, is how
That's
you
right.
spelled it in the newsletter. Is that right?
There, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so our gaps, and we I think we were just gonna kind of we talked about just seeing where we were throughout the months, but our gaps are going to be in June and July and September, and those are really super easy months to find material. But it could be, we have all positive information here, and it could be, like the basil article that Jill wrote, like, why does my basil have mold or mildew on it?
I think we need to do one on smart gardens. That's a new initiative through Metro Water, and people can get the title of smart gardens, and it's all about planting, it's all about conserving water and planting natives and water gardens. It's fascinating what they're doing, and it's a brand new initiative, and you can get a placard that says smart gardens, that your garden meets these criteria. And that fulfills our sustainability goal. Like I know we talk beautification, but I think sustainability, at least for me, sustainability and history are so important.
I think this would probably go in another month, but I did speak to the mayor about this. I think I'm well, maybe I'm not one of the only ones, but I did not realize there was a way to get rid of the nightmarish hackberry bug that apparently everyone's been treating for this in a certain month. And I certainly would have loved to receive that information whatever month that treatment is supposed to happen. If we could add that to whenever that's supposed to be.
I believe it's in the fall, and it's it's aphid poo. That's not a very good.
Yeah, no, I know what it is, and it has taken off of my car, but I am thrilled to know that there's a solution for it. So if that can be added, I think we'll have some really happy people.
Hackberry aphids, I didn't even know about them.
Oh, well, they're horrible.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Maybe the smart.
If we want you on the sustainability side, would we want to do an article on recycling and composting and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Might be a good, I just feel like everybody kind of needs the reminder and resources of where, what's recyclable in Belmead versus what you have to take to other places and where those other places are, and, the benefits of composting and just waste diversion in general.
Love that.
Okay.
Might be a good topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carter, could you write that one in July?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
can do
and
that.
then for smart gardens, Jill, would that be you? Will you do that?
Sure.
All right, and then, all right, so that just leaves September.
And then new trends and perennials and annuals.
Where's that? In May?
And that's in May.
May.
Anyone want that one?
Carolyn,
What
could you
might
do
be
that
a good time, actually, rather than doing the composting and stuff in July, maybe move that to September, because that's when a lot of people are cleaning out their gardens and, kind of pulling things out. July to me is a good time and I'm not a pro with this, but somebody else might be, is how to kind of refresh, especially your annuals, they're kind of getting leggy and spent, and how to keep your things fresh midsummer when things are hot. And, that might be kind of a good type of article to write.
Well, you're such a native person. I think we should do something about planting natives somewhere.
I think that would be great. Well, and that's a high, a high time on. Do we have something on pollinators? Have we talked about? Yeah, you're doing that in April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Maybe May. Oh, sorry, y'all. Gosh.
But we could do a July natives article.
I'd be glad to do that one.
The native plantings? Okay, great. So I may mention them in my smart water garden article, and then you can really expand on them, because I know that's one of the smart garden things.
Yes.
I think we should also sell rain barrels. Does Belmead do anything like that? No?
Oh,
Okay,
we want to make that a Ceres initiative?
maybe. Possibly. Let's.
So do you all want natives in June or July?
Why don't we make that in May, when instead of that new trends in perennials and annuals? What do you think?
I like that.
Caroline, while we're here, let's go on and add October, November, December. I know y'all created it in October and did a 12-month, but let's just go on and do, because we can just get this done. December, I'd like to write a recap, sort of the year of Ceres and that kind of thing. So I'll take December. And
we should probably do an article about if we're going to be doing that the fundraising with the lights. That's a beautification issue. That could be in September, possibly, or October.
Carolyn,
let's do that in October.
Okay. October. Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
I don't mean to put something else on Carolyn, but the fertilizing the trees and your shrubs in the October and November.
I love that.
Actually, let's do lights in November, because people are not thinking about lights yet.
Is that
Celeste
November
lights in November and fertilize trees in October, and then we have
Okay.
our year. Woohoo!
Good.
All right. Y'all are awesome. All right, who wants to write about fundraising lights?
I'll do it, I guess. Let me see. How many articles do I have? A lot.
I have a lot.
That's
You have
fine.
1,
Two,
2,
four.
3.
More?
3
Okay.
or more.
Well,
If
I
it's
did
too much, Jill, I can do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I can do it if you get in it and you're like, oh my God, I'm so burned out.
Okay. Fine. I'll do them. It's fine for now.
Okay, all right, so we've covered everything on the agenda. Is there anything else to talk about?
I got a couple of things if you're, no one else.
I'm open, let's do it.
Tree City. Anything been discussed about Belmead and qualifying as a tree city?
That's on me. I'm working on that application, and I'm going to tell you that I have let it fall by the wayside. I have 3 weeks in January between semesters, so I will take care of that in that time.
What about weed wrangle? Are we doing weed wrangle this year? Is that, Carter, do you know anything about what's been planned, if anything?
Let me get details and I'll give it to you. I'm sure, yes. Well, I mean, I say that, last year we ended up having to pretty much cancel with COVID and everything. I think ideally they want to do it. And I feel like we know more this year. I think if you keep it small and people are in masks and, spread out and it is outside. But I need to get back with Garden Club and kind of find out where, liability wise, what we're capable of doing, if it's going to be a formal thing again this year or not. But I will get that back to you all in January.
And Carter, I want to just suggest for 2 years, we've partnered with Bellevue Plantation.
Yeah.
The first year, sort of I did everything, and which is why but we really, Michael showed up and couldn't even find us, and so we just had a tough time. And then last year they just flat out said, we're not even going to give you anybody to work with. We don't have bandwidth for this. So I'm kind of thinking we might want to focus on some areas around that are actually in the city that might get some neighbors, if we could get some, like you said, the small groups, if we could get little neighborhoods to sort of come together and do their own neighborhoods, that might also be a way to get a little more support, just a thought.
Yeah. There might be, am I mute? Okay. There might be like around the bridges or, those streets that have it, they can find those little areas that, that need it. And, Palmer Park might be one. We've got a lot of border areas that has a lot of invasives in it. I don't know, we can look at some opportunities. I'll get with the group. The more locations, we might have to do some things where if we do a lot of small locations that we're a little bit more on our own than having a garden club. I don't know if we'd be able to have a garden club person represent each area, just because we've got, 25 sites around the city also that we're managing, not just Belmead.
Well, and if we could have a Ceres person represent, I would.
Well, that's what I said. Like, I can do it. Caroline and I can do a kind of a teaching class among us and teach you all, and then every one of us can represent each one of those little sites or something.
One of the problems that we've had is that Belmead really doesn't have a lot of sites to do this in.
No, it's really more private properties.
But that's another opportunity is education of the residents about not necessarily there goes my phone. What are the invasives, and how do you get rid of them? How do you get rid of honeysuckle where it doesn't keep coming back every year? And we've got that may be a lot of people really don't know about. And if you just cut a honeysuckle plant down and that's you done it. Well, you hadn't started on it, so I've learned about that. So, but anyway, that. It may be well worth time educating the people, the residents about invasives.
Yeah, that would be a great way to educate as well. I agree.
And Jill, didn't you, you're the one that brought up about the rain barrels?
Yeah.
Well, tell me just a little bit about that. And Lyle, why don't you unmute while we're talking about it? I'll have there it goes. Tell me what a rain barrel does. And so Lyle can see whether it contributes to stormwater runoff. So
I think it helps with stormwater
Yeah.
runoff. If someone else, I just have a vague idea because I was thinking about doing it in my home, but I think that it collects the water for you to repurpose into your gardens. So it's in line with our sustainability efforts. And I think the good news is preventing that. It's preventing, and it's preventing water. It's saving water use, all of that. Yeah. Does anyone else have any ideas? Or go ahead.
The Cumberland River Compact, they do sell rain barrels, but they also promote rain gardens, which are some like these, similar to what you were talking about, the sustainable gardens. And they can, you can designate a certain area. I don't know if they donate plants, but it's not a real hard thing to do. You just take orders, and I don't know if you would bulk order a few rain barrels or order by November 10th or whatever the day is, and then you place the order and they get delivered.
I think anything we might do to minimize or to lower our water bills now that they've gone sky high with those who have irrigation, know that no matter what you're doing, it's doubled and tripled in many cases, the water bills. So now, Lyle, do you have any information on these rain barrels as to what that might do or not do? Or
Not necessarily rain barrels, but I will say that on some of the larger additions and newer homes, they're putting in an underground detention system that captures the rainwater, and they're repurposing that for irrigation. I don't have anything specifically on the rain barrels.
that's not a requirement on a new home. That's just something that's typically maybe part of an architect's design.
Yeah, civil engineers, yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to research it a little bit and then make a presentation next time about the rain barrels?
I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay.
And in terms of education, one thing to think about is, do we want, as part of Ceres, I don't know if anyone would attend them, but maybe we could have little lectures, like on natives, on that different members of the Ceres group holds them. What do you think?
I'm
Like
not
on
opposed to that.
Like on composting, maybe something in the spring, maybe something in the, I mean, they could be by Zoom, or we could have actually, like, once we're able to do it in person, like an actual meeting, like how to prepare the beds, show up to my garden, and we can advertise it.
I think that's great. Peter Grimaldi would be maybe good at heading that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, will you talk to Peter about that?
Yeah.
I know that
Who did you ask to talk to him?
Jill.
Okay.
It might make more sense once we're vaccinated.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I know that Bellmead Living in an attempt, since they couldn't do any of their parties or whatever, they sort of tried to do some educational sort of fun things and had very low attendance.
Okay. Yeah.
Part of that, I think, also was they only promoted it within the magazine, and so you didn't, if you could have missed it easily. So we'd have to. My biggest piece of advice on that is we really want to promote it.
Let's wait until we can meet in person, I think, don't you?
I think
Be a fundraiser.
Everybody's tired of Zoom.
Love that.
So
Sorry
yeah,
about
the
that
novelty has worn
15,000.
off. I love the idea of being able to do that in person when we get there. So, but would you talk to Peter and see if he's got any ideas on that, and then we'll just build up from there.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
I want to say how informative and exciting this group has been, and what can be accomplished.
We have a great group for sure. Well, on that note, I'll end this. I want to thank you, as always. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your dedication to this group. We wouldn't be here without all of y'all. And so thank you so much. You were so appreciated.
So
Y'all have a great night. Oh,
y'all-
and I also,
Hold up. Those
Yeah.
those that don't know it, LK comes to all of our commissioner meetings and makes a report to the commissioners every month. And
Thank
so
you.
we're being kept informed about all that. So she's doing a great job.
You did
All
a
the
great
commissioners
job.
love her too.
just
Thank
I'm
you,
happy.
Catherine, for everything.
But also, the other thing I want to say is that we couldn't have our Christmas party. You know,
Oh.
the Ceres Christmas party that I love to host, and so I'm really sorry. So we'll be celebrating from afar, but know that I really wish I could have y'all all, especially you, Haley, to welcome you into the fold. So as soon as we can get together, we might just have to have a spring series party or something, just a little appreciation for y'all. So.
Oh, that's a great idea.
In the
Thank y'all
garden.
so
In the
much.
garden.
Hmm?
In the garden.
In the garden, not mine, but y'all's. Okay, thank y'all so much. Have a great night.
Thanks,
Happy
you
Hanukkah,
too.
Merry Christmas. I'm
Merry
grateful for you
Christmas.
all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.